No one wants to be poor, and if getting rich was easy, then no one would be poor. And despite all the challenges that comes with poverty, somehow chasing money makes you evil and poverty equals piety. Well, ask that to a man who just lost his job, or the mother who is struggling to put food on the table, or the young Muslim who is being forced to compromise their values just to survive. Poverty does not always lead to humility, sometimes it leads to desperation. And we need to talk about this. Allah does not want you to be poor or stay broke in order to be righteous. If He did, then why are so many dawah efforts, Islamic institutes, and scholars only able to do what they do because of financial stability? The sheikh you admire online, he's financially stable, or else he would be occupied trying to make ends meet. Financial freedom allowed him to travel, teach, build institute, support charitable causes, and create the content that's guiding you today. Wealth, according to the Quran and Hadith, has a twofold nature. It is both a blessing and a trial from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ said something so profound. If the son of Adam had a valley full of gold, he would like to have two valleys. This shows that the desire for wealth is natural and human, not inherently evil. Now, the reason I'm telling you all this is because we Muslims are being told that chasing money is bad, that wanting more makes you ungrateful, that poverty somehow makes you righteous. And behind this poverty mindset lies a very serious misconception that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was poor and we should follow his example of poverty. We have all heard the stories how he lived in complete poverty, how he would often go days without food. And while all this is absolutely true, but that's not the whole story. You see, there's a big difference between not having money and choosing not to live for it. The Prophet ﷺ, in fact, was married to one of the wealthiest and most respected businesswomen in Makkah. Before their marriage, the Prophet ﷺ was so trusted in business that his reputation as Al-Amin caught the attention of wealthy Meccan traders, including Khadija radiallahu anha. She was a respected businesswoman who hired him to manage her trading caravans, close international trade deals, and run profitable business operations. This clearly shows that he wasn't someone who was financially illiterate or helpless with money. He was actually good at business. After their marriage, Allah used Khadija radiallahu anha's wealth to free him from the distractions of the financial stress, giving him the space and time to fully focus on the mission of Islam. The Prophet ﷺ also said how good lawful wealth is for a righteous man. Now, it should be pretty clear to you from this hadith that wealth itself isn't the problem. It's how we earn it and use it that matters. So, building wealth for the sake of Allah can be a means of worship. And today, I want to share with you the simple steps to financial freedom. These are the principles that have worked for centuries, backed by both Islamic teachings and the examples of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So please stay with me until the very end. The first step to financial freedom is to understand where your sustenance actually comes from. There's a beautiful verse in the Quran, and in the sky is your provision and whatever you are promised. Think about this. Your risk is written. It's already decreed, and just like you can't escape death, you can't escape the provision written for you. It will come to you even if you try to avoid it or make wrong choices along the way. Now, that sustenance turns out to be good or bad has everything to do with your tawakkul. If you were to rely upon Allah with the reliance He is due, you would be given provision like the birds. They go out hungry in the morning and come back with their bellies full in the evening. Notice what the birds do. They don't just sit there waiting for the food to fall from the sky. They go out, they make an effort, but they trust that Allah will provide. This is the perfect balance between tawakkul and effort. So get this out of your mind. Your provision isn't controlled by your choices alone, or by your boss, or the economy, or even your skill set. Most of the time we put too much stress on ourselves and exhaust ourselves in the process of earning risk. Instead, shift your mindset and put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your only job is to make an effort while relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like the birds do. Wallahi, stop stressing over the outcome, because that's Allah's domain. This mindset will help you navigate the phases where nothing makes sense and you don't see a way out. That's where the test of true tawakkul begins. And if you trust Allah in those times, wallahi, He will not disappoint His believers. The second step is to realize the importance of wealth, when earned and used correctly, is a virtue and a powerful tool. Look at the examples in the Quran. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam was incredibly wealthy, and Allah mentions his wealth as one of his blessings. Prophet Dawood alayhi salam was skilled in metalwork and earned his living through his craft. These weren't poor prophets, they were blessed with wealth and used it to serve Allah's creation and benefit society. Wealth allows Muslims to live with dignity, free from dependence on others or unethical compromises often forced by desperate circumstances. And I also know we all want to serve our deen, be our own boss, and spend more time with our families and with Allah Azza. But think about it, how many Muslims today are trapped in a 9 to 5 job they hate, stuck in that grind because rent is due, bills are due, and their boss owns their time. When you don't have wealth, you take whatever means you can get, even if it requires you to do things that go against your deen. Tell me, when you are constantly worried about money, how much mental energy do you have left for worship? When you are stressed with your job workload, how present can you really be in your prayers? This is why wealth earned through halal means is actually a blessing that gives you an unfair advantage to become a better Muslim. Now that we understand where risk comes from and why building wealth for the sake of Allah is important, but how do we actually do it? What are the ways to build wealth? The beauty about Islam is that it gives us both spiritual and practical guidance. Allah tells us in the Quran to make dua, seek His forgiveness, and engage in worship. But He also tells us something really crucial, and that there is nothing for man except that good for which he strives. So yes, make more sujood, seek istighfar, increase your tahajjud prayers, and give charity more often. But when you combine spirituality with actions, there's nothing that can stop you from building wealth, inshallah. Allah will provide you from sources where you could never imagine. However, striving does not mean chasing get-rich-quick schemes, falling for crypto scams or NFTs. Halal wealth isn't built through winning lottery. As the wise saying goes, what comes quick goes quick. True financial freedom comes from building valuable skills that create consistent demand in the marketplace. Let's have a look at the most successful companions of the Prophet ﷺ. Abu Bakr, Uthman, and Abdurrahman bin Auf were probably billionaires if compared to today's standards. But they weren't lucky. These were highly skilled people. Abu Bakr understood trade and commerce. Uthman understood supply chains and logistics. Abdurrahman understood market. These were highly valued skills in their time, and they used it to serve Allah's creation. He himself was a successful merchant before his prophethood. In today's world, this means embracing the digital revolution. We are living through a massive shift in how value is created and exchanged. Muslim and anyone seeking financial freedom must adapt to these new technologies and opportunities. The biggest opportunity that Muslims are missing today is content creation. Whether you are a business owner or working a 9 to 5 job, you need clients and customers to succeed. And there's no better way to attract them with content. I mean, just think about it. You don't have to move an inch. You just need to press some buttons on the keyboard, say some words in front of the camera, and generate sales for your services. What else offers this kind of leverage where you can spend just 2 hours a day with no experience without having to quit your job or invest a fortune and still make abundant risk? Non-Muslims are absolutely crushing this online media. Lawyers, doctors, entrepreneurs, carpenters, coaches, everyone is on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, promoting their businesses organically by creating valuable content. Why? Because attention is the new currency in this digital day and age. People just trust what they see online. When someone consistently provides value through content, they build trust. When they build trust, they attract opportunity and risk. And yet, many Muslims today are invisible online. If you're not creating content, you are missing out on big opportunities. If you are a Muslim business owner, coach, or course creator, consultant, service provider, content creation should be a part of your risk strategy. Imagine creating something that works for you 24/7, attracting customers and generating income while you sleep, pray, or spend time with your family. So start by creating simple content that helps people solve problems. Use your skills to benefit others. By the way, this is also a sadqa jariyah. You also don't need fancy gears or thousands of followers. Even with 30 followers, if 3 becomes clients, that's sustainable risk. But making content and getting sales isn't always sunshine and rainbows. It requires strategy, consistency. You need to know what kind of content to create, specifically for your business, and how to stand out when it seems like everything has been done before. This brings us to step 5. If you want a clear roadmap to financial freedom, you need to seek knowledge and mentorship. Look at the examples from the Islamic history. The Prophet Muhammad learned trade from Abu Talib. Musa was sent to Khizr for wisdom he couldn't gain on his own. And above all, they had the Most High guiding them all the time. If prophets needed mentors and guidance, then we definitely need it too. Even Allah tells us in the Quran, Rabbi zidni ilma, and say, my Lord, increase me in knowledge. In 2025, trying to achieve financial freedom without proper guidance is like trying to navigate a foreign country without a map. You might eventually get there, but you will waste years and make expensive mistakes that could have been avoided. The wealthy companions didn't just stumble upon success. They learned from those who came before them. They studied the market, they understood their customers, and they constantly worked on improving their craft. In today's world, this means learning from successful entrepreneurs, taking courses, joining communities of like-minded people, and staying updated with the latest technology. But also make sure your mentors and the knowledge you seek align with Islamic values. There's no shortage of business advice out there, but not all of it is halal or ethical. Seek mentors who understand both worldly success and spiritual values. But as we work toward financial freedom, it's crucial to maintain the right intentions and practice gratitude. The Prophet ﷺ taught us to make this beautiful dua. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. This dua captures the Islamic approach to wealth. We seek success in both this dunya and the akhirah, but we always remember our ultimate destination. Constantly remind yourself why you are building wealth: to worship Allah without looking at the clock, to take care of your family with dignity, to have the freedom to live according to your own values. Even if you want to buy a nice car, your niyyah should be to use it to drive to the masjid, not to show off to your neighbors or flex in front of your cousins. No, look, akhi, Allah has given you the skills, He has given you the knowledge, He's given you the ability to serve others and create value. The question isn't whether you have what it takes to build wealth. The question is whether you're willing to do the work required to build wealth. Allah has already done so many favors on you, and if He wills, it doesn't bother Him to make you wealthy. So the only question left is, are you ready to take the first step? That's exactly why I have created this Muslim community for you. Not to sell you an outdated course, but to work alongside you. The goal is to help you build wealth through YouTube and become a spiritually strong servant of Allah. It's practical to the point and designed to help you make progress towards your goals. You can get it using the link in the description. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.